Hello, this is Robert with the Open Eye with our second edition of Talk to the Rock. In the first video, I said I was going to start with Moldavite, which is true, but only half true because I'm also going to include Labradorite in this one because these two stones seem to be working together. And I'm not quite sure how to differentiate one from the other. And they're both high end stones that impact all the chakras, and things have happened. And I wanted to share those things with you. So, Moldavite is an odd stone. We're not really sure where it comes from. Apparently, there's three theories. One is that it is the result of a direct impact of a meteor with the Earth, causing rock to be superheated, cooled, and then ejected out into the atmosphere where it rained down upon the Earth. There's another one where it says the meteor hit, supergassed everything, and as it cooled, Moldavite formed, and that rained down upon the Earth. And still a third one says it's a result of an eruption from a lunar volcano. And apparently, nobody knows which one it is. So there's that. When I first picked up a Moldavite, I couldn't feel a thing. And that was because I was at the shop, I unpacked a bunch of rocks, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is I found out that I'm hypersensitive to rocks. And when I unpacked a lot of crystals, I get overwhelmed and I feel everything, and nothing. And so my friend Ann said, well, pick up the Moldavite, tell me how it feels. And I couldn't feel anything. So I took it home and I took it back into my temple space the next day and realized that for me at least, it's a subtle stone. It doesn't have this great hum when I hold on to it, but it's not subtle in that as soon as I closed my eyes and I asked for the spirit of Moldavite to make him or herself apparent, he was there. And he made it very clear that he had some work to do with me. The work didn't feel very energetic. I can't say that I had a great revelation. I simply spoke to a spirit of a rock who basically introduced himself as a spirit of the rock. I introduced myself as a mage. He already knew this. And that was that. But in the days that followed, I noticed something had changed. The first one is I really got into rocks. And according to the books I've been reading, Moldavite is a stone that gets rid of old ideas and gets rid of old patterns in order to allow new ones to emerge. And I believe Moldavite kicked my ass to the point where I was ready to accept that this rock energy was actually real. So I'm going to credit that one to Moldavite. The next thing that happened was that my dreams got clearer. Now, truth be told, my dreams have been getting clearer anyway. They've been lasting longer, but now they seemed to have a crispness to them. It's like the visuals were just a little blurry. I went from a regular TV to an HD TV, maybe. And so the visuals got better and the dreams got a bit longer. I didn't learn anything in particular from the dreams, I don't think. Although I did witness a procession of gods marching in a direction, all of one pantheon, which was totally new to me. I don't normally dream about gods, certainly not entire pantheons at once, and certainly not as if I was above them looking down on them while they were doing it. So that was new. From there, I started hanging around Labradorite more. And what I did is I put some in my pillow. And what I learned there is don't put Labradorite in your pillow. It will keep you awake all night long. And that's what it did. And as soon as I realized that it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm not asleep yet, I got up, I took the Labradorite out to another room, went back to bed, and was immediately went to sleep. There's a lot of energy in Labradorite, and it had a real serious impact on me. But Labradorite is said to be the stone of the magician, and it helps one to experience one's innate magical abilities. And magical abilities, according to the authors I read, is everything from the mind and how the mind works to noticing synchronicities to the actual practice of magic and sorcery and everything in between those things. So with the Labradorite, I noticed a couple things. One is I did some magic, and truth be known, my wife calls me Captain Oblivious because I'm usually oblivious to a whole lot of stuff. I can't find my keys when they're right next to me on my desk, right? And oftentimes I don't see magic working. I have to do magic, let it work, and then once I see it work, kind of piece together what happened afterwards. Well, this time I did some magic and I saw the subtlest thing happen in the real world and knew that was my magic working. And that was totally new to me. Today, we're at the shop and I'm wearing a piece of Labradorite. I just got this in. And we were discussing spiritual ancestors and spirit guides and that sort of thing. And there was 5 or 6 of us in this room, and I looked up and I saw a male ghost, if you will, and I think that was associated with my friend James, who was there, but I'm not 100% sure because I knew the ghost wasn't there for me, but I definitely saw him. It wasn't something where I could do a police sketch and describe this fellow to you. All I saw was the outline, but it was a definite humanoid figure. It was definitely shadowy, and it was definitely there. And while I've seen such things before, I've seen them few and far between, and I don't think it's a coincidence that I was wearing Labradorite at the time. So I think both of these stones merit a lot more investigation, and I'm going to do that. And so in future videos, I will talk to you more about both Moldavite and Labradorite and whatever comes up with whatever other stones I happen to be working with. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Talk to the Rock and come in and visit us at the Open Eye. Have a great evening.